Sup, it's your boy Big Reg coming to you once again from the shadow of the big house in Ann Arbor, Michigan, bringing you the recap of a Michigan Wolverines victory over the Iowa Hawkeyes from KINNIck Stadium. The first road test for J.J. McCarthy and the boys, and they passed with flying colors. Okay, I don't care what the haters say. I don't care what the doubters say. The Michigan Wolverines walked out of there with a W. 27-14. Something they hadn't done since I don't even remember when. Okay? That's how long it's been. Okay. Anyway, joining me tonight to recap this long-awaited victory from Iowa City, the one, the only producer, Jay Business.
Well, since there's no one else joining us, I'm going to have to be the only person that comes in here and applauds this team for a well-fought victory. There's nothing better that I could have had for my birthday present than a victory over Iowa at Iowa. Screw your pink rooms. We're coming for you.
Wow, Jay Bizzle bringing the desert heat. Speaking of, let's do a desert heat check with producer Jay Bizzle.
There's some graphic that comes up and says desert heat, isn't there?
There's
no desert heat. I was up in the mountains this past weekend, 7,000 elevation.
I don't want to hear about no mountains. Come on now. Give us the nitty-gritty details. Come on now.
Nope, I was just camping with my dog, Blueberry.
Camping? So you were pitching a tent? Is that what you're saying? Holy smokes. Producer Jay Bizzle out in the woods pitching his tents. All right. We raise a glass of that, and that is your desert heat check with Chow. Producer Jay Bizzle. You know who else was on a hot streak, folks? The Michigan Wolverines, okay? They are now, is it 4-0?
5-0.
5-0. Holy smokes, one of the last undefeated teams in the nation. And it's staying in the top 4 as far as the rankings go. And the coaches and the AP. Okay, so I raised my glass of that. There's a lot of question marks going into this game. Chief amongst them being, how would first-year starter J.J. McCarthy handle that tough Iowa defense, a defense that was ranked number 1 in the nation as far as scoring defense and number 1 against the rush. J.J. McCarthy answered all those questions in spades. He had a heck of a performance. Sure, they weren't gaudy numbers, but guess what, Buttercup? He got the job done. He kept checking, okay? I haven't seen dude check somebody to death since Mike did it to Teddy KGP, okay? Check all night. He beat me. He did me and his money. That was my Teddy KGP.
Bravo.
Thank you. He beat me. He did me and his money. That's what Cousins basically said after the game.
If there's anything we learned from this game, that any kind of doubts we had about JJ learning and progressing are now put to bed, because clearly he took what the coaches were telling him and he made outstanding check down throws on the money, giving his players full advantage to get extra yardage. I mean, we were just gashing them. You could see from every one of those long drives, things that took 5-7 minutes, 10 to 12 plays, 60, 70 yards down the field. And it was just easy pickings all night. Granted, I mean, there was a throw that, if we hit Roman in stride, maybe we could add a touchdown on there. He's going to get there. But Iowa was just letting all the stuff in front of them, and he took advantage of it. And you got to be impressed by what happened with JJ this past game.
Hey, for a first-time start on the road in one of the toughest places to play in the Big Ten, that's what this kid was facing against a defense that everybody recognizes is a tough defense to get a read on for a young quarterback. But again, he got the job done. But let's not forget the contributions of the Wolverines into this victory. Chief amongst them being the offensive line and Blake Corum. Holy smokes! Like I said, the Iowa Hawkeyes boasted one of the top rushing defenses in the nation. And you know what Blake Corum said? Nice defense, bro. Nice. And then he just went out there, rushed it 29 times for over 100 yards and another touchdown. And guess what, Buttercup? After that game, Blake Corum, he now leads the nation in touchdowns. So I'll raise my glass to Blake Corum and the heck of a job he's done so far this season for the Michigan Wolverines.
I mean, if you put up 172 rushing yards on the number one rush defense there is in the country, I mean, you have to give that O-line credit. I was driving back and I was listening to podcasts and they interviewed Blake, they interviewed Donovan Edwards. They're like, the holes were just there. I was just running through them. And they're giving kudos to the offensive line. Finally, our offensive line is like nearly almost 100% healthy. I mean, you could tell we were winning that edge and we were controlling that game.
There you go. And you mentioned it just now. We also raised our glass to Donovan Edwards. He had been out the past couple games, but he's back healthy now. All right, well, maybe not 100%, but you know what? He did a heck of a job also getting on the scoreboard, getting a touchdown. So we raise our glass to Donovan Edwards. A fine job that he's done so far this season.
I want to know what JC from Sunnyside thinks about Donovan Edwards now after this game. So JC, since you're at home resting, why don't you put a comment there in our YouTube clip and tell us what you really thought about Donovan Edwards this game?
Let me say this to producer. I'm sorry, to JC from Sunnyside. You got to change your tune when it comes to Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards doing the heck of a job. He's doing a heck of a job. I'm telling you. So, you can't slander the young man anymore. You got to give him his props. Got to be the bigger man. Mitch was wrong. Mitch was wrong.
I mean, he sacrificed his body to get that fumble to make sure that Iowa didn't take advantage of it. He literally dove for the ball, covered it up, got slammed by other people trying to get the ball. He sacrificed. He was heads up. He was heads up about that. That's not a prima donna move.
There you go. Team to team to team. So I raised my glass to Donovan Edwards and embodying that sentiment on that play. The other key to the victory, though, was the defense. Sure, you know what? A lot of people are going to say that Iowa has one of the worst offenses this side of, I don't know, the River Jordan. But you know what? When it came down to making the big plays at the big times, the defensive line came up, pressured the quarterback, and got those sacks, got those tackles for losses, especially my man, Mike Morris. Mike Morris, I raise my glass to you for turning it up a notch or two. You know what? Maybe even three. When it came to putting the pressure on that Iowa Hawkeyes offense.
I mean, I think he literally saw that Iowa scored and he was like, nope, I'm going to shut this down.
No more.
This guy off the line, pushed them back into the quarterback, sacked the quarterback. It's just
moved them both back.
But yeah, that defensive line finally showed up on that fourth quarter. I was nervous first three quarters. It was a lot of prevent defense, just trying to keep plays in front of them, and not blitzing so much. But that fourth quarter, man, that changed the dynamic of the game immensely.
There you go. They shut it down when they had to. And then the other young man, listen, I'm not gonna pretend I can remember which name he's going by now, but you know who I'm talking about. The transfer.
IOWA Hawkeyes.
Yes, but he's like the defensive end formerly known as, okay? I'm just gonna say that young man did a heck of a job in getting pressure as well. They said they were gonna use him more in them situations. And Coach Harbaugh and company, Jesse Minter and company, they were true to their word. And then when they wanted some more pressure dialed up, they put him into that pressure package, and man, oh man, did that young man deliver. So I raise my glass to you. What was his name again?
IOWA Hawkeyes.
There you go. Heck of a job done. Holy smokes. There's a lot of other players that we can mention. Schoolmaker, he's doing a fine job yet again, picking up the load now that Eric All is out with an injury. Hopefully Eric is doing better.
We're here for you.
You know what I'm saying? And also we raise our glass also again, Eric being a young parent. Hopefully that's going well as well,
I think his his back is a little bit because he's trying to take care of the kid. You know, like it's like
Could be. You know what I mean? But hey, that's the joys of fatherhood. So we raise a glass to that.
Let's give a shout out to the two people who commented on last week's video. Let's give it up for Big Rock. He
Big
says
Rock.
still getting on Gaddis. He also agrees with Spicy Mike's prediction that our defense was a 4 out of 10. He says sounds right.
Big Rock, you were wrong on that one.
He's commenting on that. And then our brother Moses Choi, he writes down 62-9! Exclamation point, exclamation. I'm not really sure what that's about.
I think he's making fun of me for predicting that the Maryland score was going to be 62-9. I was a little off on that. I admit it. A little off. But anywho, a win is a win, baby. A win is a win. We beat by 1 or 100. Don't matter. It still all goes down in the record books as a W. But you know what? I gotta raise my glass also to Big Rock, because Big Rock texted me before the game. He put down his prediction as 24-13. Big Rock almost hitting the nail right on the head. So raise my glass to you, Big Rock.
Wow. I think we still need those whiskey glasses back, don't we?
I do. Hey. You know, we make do with what we got. I don't even got any whiskey left. I'll be honest. That's why I'm drinking these Coors Lights. Drank all them whiskeys and so much celebration for the first 4 weeks. But now that we're 5-0, hey, we're good to go.
Oh man.
Anywho, I'm feeling good about the way that this Michigan team is coming together. You know, step by step, game by game. You know, they're making all the right moves in my mind. Sure, this team is not perfect. I'm not trying to front like this team is perfect. Nobody's saying that. But this team is showing growth. And that, to me, is the most important thing. Whether it's on the defensive side of the ball, getting more pressure, on the offensive side of the ball, with the more decisive play at quarterback, and the health of the offensive line, the growth of the wide receiving core, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You gotta admit that this team is building something special here. So I am encouraged, and I'm feeling pretty good as a U of M fan this season. I like what I see. I like what I see a lot. So I raise my glass to that.
Absolutely. I think even Joel Klatt, Kirk Herbstreit, some of those people are pushing us up a little bit higher than our normal 4 ranking because they're trying to see something good out of this team.
You know what? The next game is also going to be another opportunity to show more growth. Next week, we're going to be on the road at Indiana. Indiana is not a powerhouse this season, let's be honest, but I think it's going to be another chance for us to show what what we can improve on, especially in the pass rushing situation. I think that Indiana game, I think they're going to show out. I think they're really going to show out next game. So I raise my glass to that. Should I already do a prediction? Should do a prediction?
You might have to, because we might not have another session.
All right, you know what? Let me go with my score prediction already then. I'm going to say Michigan 45, Indiana 10.
I'm going to go Michigan 35, Indiana 14.
Oh, so you still don't believe in this team, huh? All right, I get it, producer Jake Pencil. I get it. But I think they're going to put on a heck of a display, and people are going to be more and more convinced that this team is not only a Big Ten. Well, you know what? Let's be honest. If you're a contender in the Big Ten this season, then you are a national championship contender. Because those folks down south, as much as I hate to say it, the Ohio State Buckeyes are looking a lot tougher this year than they were last year, especially their defense. Looks like they've made some improvements on that end. So, you know what? I'm going to say, if you're a contender in the Big Ten, then you're a contender for a national championship. So I like the way that we are trending for being a contender this year. You don't think so? Am I being too exuberant already?
One game at a time. One game at a time.
You know what? You're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. Let me dial it back a little bit. One game at a time. Let's look forward to Indiana. I look forward to seeing more growth from this team at Indiana. And I raise my Coors Light that's still icy cold, like the Rocky Mountains. That's still icy cold, like the Michigan Wolverines went into Kinnick Stadium and they weren't frazzled by by the history nor the crowd that was there, because the crowd was into it when they first started. But man, oh man, they zipped them up right on that opening drive when they drove 75 yards for a touchdown. Oh, it was so sweet. Anywho, I raise my glass to that and the victory, and I say, go blue.
Go Blue.